All right, so if you've been having a problem trying to complete the Fair Use Fairy Tale assignment, here is your quick rundown. So now here's what you're doing. You're going to create a fairy tale, and you're going to be using content that's available either through the public domain or openly available for reuse. Okay, so first thing you need to do. So your project's going to follow a number of steps. Number one, choose a fairy tale from Inspired Public. So I've already opened up Inspired Public here, and let's say I'm going to work with Cinderella. Okay, and you'll see why I'm picking Cinderella in just a minute. But you can pick from any of the fairy tales on this list. Okay, I'm going to go with Cinderella. Now, clicking through here, the font's a little small for me to read, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and it's going to open it up larger. So, as I look at this, I want to pre-read and figure out what I'm going to work with, because you're not going to use the whole story. If I scroll back here, does it tell me how long this is? It's not telling me how long it is, but this book, it's a lot longer than our 1 to 3 minute window that we're making. So I'm not going to, oh, here we go, 64 pages total. I'm on page 12 already, so it's probably not all of the 64 pages, but there we go. All right, so starting off, this is a story of a beautiful motherless young girl whose father married for the second time a haughty and proud woman who had 2 daughters of her own, both vain and selfish. No sooner was the wedding over than a wicked woman. All right, so I'm getting a sense of how this starts. You don't have to start in the beginning. Let's say you want to jump forward and start right here. Now, Cinderella's godmother was a fairy, and she said to her, "Do you wish to go to the ball?" If you want to start there, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do the whole story. That would be way too long. Okay? So let's jump back. I'm just going to begin at the beginning. Okay? Now, I've already opened up Spark, and what I'm going to do is click on Slideshow for video, or I can hit the plus sign up here and choose video. I'm going to skip this part. And then as far as a template goes, the templates help guide you in terms of having an idea of what you're going to publish on the next slide. We're just doing a story. We know what's going to happen from one slide to the next. It's going to be the next part of the story. So I'm going to click Start from Scratch. It may or may not come up with the prompt asking me if I want to do the tutorial. There we go. Okay, now here's what I've got going on. I've got the first slide here, I've got a credit slide, and I've got an outro slide. I have an outro slide because I've set up branding. I don't remember if it will set up with an outro slide for you or not, but doesn't matter. Credits will automatically generate based on the images that you pick, and it's just a matter of getting started. Okay, so what I found to be the easiest way to work on this is to run split screen. So I've got this going on over here, and then I've got this one over here. So that way I can read the story because you have to click and hold this red button. It's annoying, I know, but you do. So I want to start out with some text. I'm going to say Cinderella. Okay, and then from here, I also want to add an image. So I'll click the plus sign up here, choose photo. Now, actually, I'm going to bounce this to full screen real quick. Now, here is where the fair use part really comes in and why I picked Cinderella, because Cinderella is a pretty popular story. So if I click on the Find Free Photos here and I put in Cinderella, I'm going to come up with some images. All right, so I've got images here of Cinderella's castle. Okay. I've got images of various castles. I think some of these might be Disneyland, okay, which falls under, okay, so that will not, actually it will not fall under fair use. Okay, even though the images are populating on my list, they're not necessarily going to be fair use because their original intention had to do with the Cinderella story. Okay, so like this image here, if you can see this, it's got, or this one that even says Cinderella. I don't know if that'll actually populate. So that one came up with asset failed. Okay, but some of these images are straight from the Cinderella story. You can't use that stuff because That was their original purpose. Remember, part of fair use is transformative. You're making a new application for it. So if I put wedding dress, okay, and decided to go with an image like this for my Cinderella, as soon as it populates, there we go, I can hit edit, and let's go ahead and move that up some more. Okay, and then I can click on my text, and let's move the text up into this corner. Whoops. There we go. Let's try that again. Move the text up into this corner, and there we go. I have an image that is an example of fair use because I'm repurposing that image. And even though we've got the rights to use these photos, it's the repurposing. I want to make sure that you are repurposing all the images that you're working with. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do first is, I need to start reading. So this is where I have to go to the split screen. So I'm going to begin with holding that down. I'm going to say, this is the story of a beautiful motherless young girl whose father married for the second time a haughty and proud widow who had 2 daughters of her own, both vain and selfish. Now you noticed as soon as I got to the 10 seconds, it started to warn me. Now I did talk a little bit before it, like I was recording and I was still talking. So that I could probably re-record it and fix that. But this is, I'm going to call that one set to go. I'm ready for the next slide. I hit plus and I start working on the next slide. So no sooner was wedding over than the wicked woman began to show her true colors. So let's find a picture of a mean woman. Mean woman. Okay, and there's Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Okay, not sure how mean any of these are looking. So let's pull the drop down and try Pixabay. So, oh, that's definitely a mean woman. There we go. Okay, and then let's say I wanted to do have more than one image on the screen. I can click split screen, and let's drop in a photo there, and scared girl. Okay, and not really seeing a good example there. Okay, let's go with that one. Let's make her smaller though. Being a big picture like that, it doesn't look as frightened. So by taking this and editing it down so she's smaller in the page, gets more a sense of dominance and subordinates. So actually, let's make her bigger. All right, there we go, and drag that down. There. See now, that large image of the angry woman compared to the woman that's looks like she's cowering in fear, it looks more intimidating. So that's what I wanted to go for here. So I'm ready to record. No sooner was the wedding over than the wicked woman began to show herself in her true colors. All right, so that one was only 6 seconds. Okay, so that's cool. And then I'm ready. I drop in the next slide. Now, you're going to go through and record several different images. Okay, you're going to drop in several different images. Then you are going to hit the share button. And you can try this. Some students have been having problems trying to turn it in through Canvas. So if that doesn't work, then you're going to go ahead and publish. You need to name it Cinderella, and you create link. It's going to take a minute while it goes through the process of generating that link for you. Okay, but once that's done, you will have a link and you'll be set to turn in the assignment because website URL is one of the acceptable ways to turn in this project. And you have to create that link. You don't want to send like this URL to me because that's your editing URL and I don't have rights to edit your stuff. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are creating the published link. So you hit the share and publish and share it, and then this is the link that you're going to get. You just have to click copy and then paste it in for your assignment, and you are golden. All right, so hopefully that helps straighten out any questions folks have concerning completing the Fair Use Fairy Tale. Remember, I need to get it in today, September 17th, if you want to be able to get the credit for it. And remember, the overall length needs to be from 1 to 2 minutes long. You can determine that length when you press play right here. Okay, you can see, okay, I'm only at 22 seconds. So I definitely have more slides to put in. Okay, there's no minimum number of slides, but it does need to be at least a minute long. Okay, and try to end at a natural breaking point. Don't end just because, okay, I reached my 1 minute, I'm stopping. Get to a point where it's naturally, let's pause for a commercial break sort of thing. Plenty of you have watched TV shows, so they don't stop like mid-sentence or anything like that. So there we go. I've talked too long. We're already past the 11-minute mark. So hopefully this helps.